So this is the world's first smart toolbox with a built-in heater. It's the Battalion Rover Heat, and I'm in the process of building a house for the past 3 years, so I've gotten a bit more familiar with smart tools, stuff in the construction space, and I'm based in Toronto, Canada, where weather gets quite cold in the winter. There hasn't been a toolbox before that keeps materials warm, because things like, say, silicone gels, power tools, a lot of those actually don't work when the temperature drops too low. They either just don't work, they get wrecked, you can't charge tools, you can't actually use them when the internal temperature is too low. This kind of solves that in this pretty ingenious toolbox. You can change the temperature in 5-degree increments using these little buttons, either going down up to 0 degrees all the way up to 30 degrees. The display shows 2 different temperatures, the one that you've set it to and the ambient temperature that's currently inside of the box. So if this is set to 30, this will naturally heat up a bit over time. The temperature can also be controlled through the Battalion app, which I'll talk about more in a second, and you can change that between Celsius and Fahrenheit depending on where you live. So you can see right now on the indicator that the box is locked, and by entering my personalized 4-digit code, which you can change through the app, the box will unlock. And the 2 different scenarios you can see on the left, the 4 green indicator lights will go on if you enter the correct one, and if you incorrectly enter a code, you'll see the red lights, and of course the box will stay locked. And there's also a dedicated lock button on the end of the keypad to lock the box. You can see the temperature actually is starting to increase, and we can fully access inside of the toolbox. And on the inside of the toolbox, this is pretty handy. The first thing that you see, there's 2 LED strips to see better. You never know on a job site if you have enough light. It just makes things that much easier. And there's heating pads on all 4 sides as well as one on the bottom. You can access and customize all the lighting settings on the mobile app. You can even change the key code on there as well. There's also 2 USB ports. You've got one USB-C and one USB-A to help charge devices like smartphones. And there's also a 120-volt receptacle inside. So once again, really handy and easy. If you're charging power tools, you can do that within a controlled temperature on the inside of the box. On the inside as well, there's a ton of different sliding trays and dividers depending on your use case for what you have inside. They also have built-in storage for things like silicones and gels, and I think once you're on your job site, or if you are using this, you can kind of divide it how you need it. Very modular, and there's a solid amount of space for all of your tools inside. So on the back, this is where the main charger is. Obviously, this has to be plugged in to have the heating feature enabled, but this should last around 3 to 4 months with the internal battery just to use things like the screen. The toolbox comes equipped with 9-inch all-terrain wheels, so you can easily move it around a job site. And this is actually a telescopic handle that kind of slides up and down. You can change this to your adjusted height setting. And one cool thing that I learned, this is actually one of the first that when fully folded up, this actually will fit into the flatbed of a truck. And you saw there when I was lowering the toolbox with my dog, on the back there's a rear handle that lets you grab onto the toolbox from hard to reach areas, and it also acts as a foot leverage bar to easily tilt it. You can purchase a customizable ID tag separately through the website, and from there you can add things like your contact info, email, phone number, etc. Once again, it's just very convenient, and you can tell a lot of design and thought have been put into constructing something like this, something that actually works in practicality. You'll be able to grab the toolbox in either black, green, or beige. Like I mentioned, the app is available both for iOS as well as Android. Battalion also has the Rover X, very similar toolbox. It just doesn't have the heating function. So if you live in a place that doesn't get too cold, maybe that's one of the options that you can go for. Super cool to check out, very fitting for some of the stuff that I've been going through in my house building process. And it's really cool to see tech make its way into something that has always been a bit more traditional and not as tech forward. So if you're interested, make sure you check out their website, battaliontools.com, to learn more. It just works whether you're a professional in the construction industry specializing in trades or a DIY enthusiast looking for a toolbox that offers versatility. It makes life on job sites easier where tools, batteries, and building materials may be unusable during colder weather, and gives you that peace of mind with the smart lock feature on job sites to ensure the safety of tools and your own personal items. Super cool.